Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing another entry in the manga series that I have been reading and enjoying, Haikyu by Haruichi Furudate. I'm up to volume 29 and I have been loving this series, so let's talk volume 29. Volume 29, we have this cover right here. So this is what the cover looks like, and there's two individuals who are actually not on the high school team that we're following that feature on the front of this cover. These, if I'm assuming correctly, are the Maya twins. So let's talk about what's going on in Haikyu, where we're at, and why these two individuals are important in volume 29. First of all, if you have not read any Haikyu or are not familiar with the series, I would recommend going back on my channel and watching all the reviews for volumes 1 through 28 on Haikyu, because I am going to assume you have some familiarity with the story thus far for this review. Also, my cat has come to visit. The high school that we're following in Haikyu, Karasuno, has made it to the spring tournament in Tokyo, and now they are trying to go as far as they can in this tournament. Obviously, they want to go all the way, but we're going to see if that's really possible. Karasuno High School has made it through day 1, but day 2 is where the seeded teams join the ranks, and they're really going up against very difficult opponents. To even get this spot at the spring tournament, they've had to beat everyone in their prefecture, so they have actually proven to have come quite a long ways as a team, but they have a lot of other teams to beat, and these are teams that also won a spot to the spring tournament, so we can't count them out yet. They are playing in this game Inarizaki, is that how we say it? Let me look up the high school. Inarizaki Volleyball Club. So this is day 2, and this is a very, very tough game. I feel like as we get further into the spring tournament, the games are getting longer and longer, as in one set will take an entire volume because there's that much tension and that much build up. The Inarizaki Volleyball Club, we have the players right here, but there's two key individuals, and those are the Maya twins. So there's two things that I want to talk about that are really featured in volume 29 that I want to discuss. And the first is the effect of the crowd, and the second is this additional dynamic of Hinata, Kageyama, and then the Maya or Mia twins. So another aspect that's come into play during the tournament is the location, the venue, and the crowds. So the crowds can have a really big impact on sports, and spectators can have an influence on athletes, and there's this kind of interplay when you have a spectated sport. I feel like nothing really proved that more than when we were going through the pandemic in 2020, 2021, and a lot of these sports couldn't have spectators. I remember watching the Olympics in Tokyo, not personally, I watched them online of course, and there was just not the spectated crowds that we expect in an Olympics, and that does have an impact on athletes. I remember also I was over at someone's house and they were watching baseball, and this was before they were allowing fans back in the baseball stadium, so they were actually piping in like sounds, like crowd sounds, and putting like cardboard cutouts. I guess you could pay to have a cardboard cutout. I don't really follow MLB, but you could like pay to have your face in the crowd because they wanted some sense that they were not just playing on this big open and silent field. In Haikyu, how this does tie into Haikyu is that the crowd for Inarizaki is really on their side and giving them a lot of momentum, and to kind of counteract that, Tanaka's older sister has come in with her drumming club to kind of try to bring some momentum and support to Karasuno's volleyball team. So I think there's a lot of interplay between how the crowds and how things in the environment are impacting the athletes. The game isn't just contained to that volleyball court. There's things that can come in from outside the volleyball court, spectators, people having a point of reference to focus on to calm themselves, particularly when a player is serving, or even something like a drumming club that's able to come in and bring support or also just influence the game. So I thought that was really interesting that that was covered in volume 29. The second thing is more related to the plot, and that is, up to this point, Kageyama and Hinata have had this very special, freakishly quick set and then attack sequence that they have it's really been their signature trademark move. When we think all the way back to the first couple volumes, Hinata and Kageyama were not on good terms. They were dead opposite. Kageyama had a huge ego but a lot of volleyball skill. Hinata was eager to learn and very, I would say, more positive and friendly, but didn't have that volleyball background that Kageyama did. They wind up on the same team, and they wind up learning that their skills complement each other and they're able to connect in this really interesting way and have this really quick attack that's been a huge advantage when they play other teams. However, we are now seeing another group of people on the other side of the court, the Inarizaki High School, who have their own secret weapon, and that is the Maya twins. So these twins are able to compensate for each other and they're able to attack in a quick manner just like Hinata and Kageyama can, and they are clearly, in my opinion, just a slight half step better than Karasuno, and they're a slight half step better than the talent on the other side of the court. And so if Karasuno wants to pull this out, which it is very, very difficult for them to they're not even able to get ahead in this volume, they're just clawing their way to try to stay not too far behind this high school, they're really going to have to pull something out. So I feel like this thing that's been a huge advantage, this freakishly quick attack between Kageyama and Hinata, has all of a sudden they've met their match. They've met someone else who can do that too, and another dynamic duo that can kind of pair up and do that attack right back at Karasuno, and they're going to have to adjust to compensate for this thing that they've also been hammering other teams with for quite a while. Overall, I liked Volume 29. I like the spring tournament. I like where it's going. Of course, sports manga, I feel like I get very stressed when I read this. I need to take a deep breath, calm down, step away, but it's a very good series, and I really like it, and I like the high school. I like the team that we're following. I like all the characters, and I'm going to be very sad when this series ends. If you've been reading this series, I'm sure you're going to like Volume 29. If you have any thoughts on this series, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this review of Volume 29 of Haikyu. I'd love to hear your thoughts, opinions, comments, suggestions. I do read them all and I love to see them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.